ladies, good morning. It's such a gorgeous cloud-free day in London, and I'm very all over the shop this morning. I have to tell you, I'm really all over the shop. I have with me Victoria and Fleur, and say hi. Good morning. Morning. And we have on our agenda this morning to do SPFs, because it's the kind of weather where we need to begin to wear them. And I have a quite strong opinion on SPF. I used to be the most appalling sun bunny. What I would do is go out, I would do sunbeds. I did, at boarding school, I would lie on tin foil and put olive oil on. The idea of it horrifies me. But as a result, early on in my life, I got some pretty permanent sun damage. And that's why I probably do so many things for my face. One of the reasons, my acne and that, lots of things, to counteract many years of abuse. So, hang on, I don't want my phone to fall today, and I just feel it slightly gently going down. I'm also going to polish the outside because I think I had rather a greasy finger trying some cream a minute ago. Good morning. Let me just get my new glasses that came. So exciting. Good morning, Nina. Good morning, Simone, Keith. Good morning, Keith. I love Keith. Jane Brown, Claire. Good morning, everybody. So, why use... Oh, you see it's going again. One second. You know what I might do? Just wondering why it doesn't squidge together. Why use an SPF? So let's say you're somebody in your 20s watching this, think, why use an SPF? A tan is so nice, it makes me feel my skin is glowing. I asked lots of women about tan and how they tan, because at the moment I'm, developing this thing. I went to Italy yesterday, so exciting. I met the team who are helping me develop my new proposition, and they were wonderful. There was Valentina, and she runs the emulsion section in the lab. There was Marco, lovely small bearded Marco, or I don't know if he had a beard, dark hair, Italian, and he was kind of, in charge of everything. And he said, I called Paola, who's one of the ladies who looks after what we're doing there. He said, I call her Trinny because all she's coming in is asking me about things to do with Trinny. Then there's Rita, who's been there forever, who's the lipstick queen, and she's probably 60, but she has an incredible ability to create the best textures. It's so exciting! Anyway, all these women you will get to know at some stage, because I'm going to have them on my site. They're part of the Trinny tribe, and they're fantastic, these women. I'm so excited. Anyway, let's get back to SPFs before I have to keep doing this phone. I've used SPF probably since I was about 35 properly. Before then, it was haphazard. It was a 20. It was a Lancaster 6 on my legs. But slowly I realised actually my skin is becoming very crepey, and I'd wear a top. When I stop wearing tops, you'll notice I hardly ever show my chest, and that's because I do have a bit of sun damage on it. And my neck also, I notice, anyone who has a long neck and they've exposed it to the sun, you lie like that and you burn there more than anywhere, and your skin is much more Hello? Yes. Your skin is You know what it is? I realise, have I put it round the wrong way around now? Is it the right way around?
Yeah.
Still the same way around?
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you. What I realised, where was I, Victoria?
You were saying about your neck.
Yes, so that neck was the bit that went because the skin is thin. Anyway, I'm going to start with my favourite brand, one of my favourite brands. I have here 4 of these brands I've used for over 10, 15 years, and the other 3 are quite new to me, but they're working incredibly well. So Avène, I talk endlessly about Avène, and I think what I like, it's this French thermal spa company, and they specialise in using thermal water in every one of their products. They have a range, they're sort of like La Roche-Posay in that French pharmacy way, and you've heard me talk about it if I talk about French pharmacy, but they specialise probably in more sensitive skin. Everything is to do with sensitive skin, but they have a range called Clarence, Clénance, which is for oily skin. And I think when you have oily skin, you use SPF. It's quite tricky. So this is a good product. Now, it's got SPF 50. It does come in an SPF 30 as well. The consistency is, I wouldn't say it's mattifying, but you put it on. I've got a new tube here actually. You put it on and it just blends very easily. And I think it doesn't have too much moisture in it, which allows your overacting sebaceous glands to have a good journey. There's not much shine to it. It has absolutely no smell. It's a really good product. And how much is it, Victoria?
£12.
What?
£12.
£12. There are Boots inexpensive SPFs. By the way, I'm getting no comments now. Are there any?
There is.
There is, because my comments thing is gone. So you've got to tell me questions people might be asking.
Caroline is asking, how was Milan?
Milan, I said it was amazing and exciting, and I can't wait to share it with you. I'm so overtired this week that I'm like a child going, yes, 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 yes. I'm now going to go on to, let's go on to SkinCeuticals, because SkinCeuticals are digressing. What do I do in preparation to put on my SPF? If I am in the sun, I'll show you what I do. I'll show you my exact routine. Okay, I will take probably Julia Hunter or Dr. Seabag, or if my skin's feeling dry, these SkinCeuticals, and I'll put that on first. So if I do the SPF, if I do the Dr. Seabag one, I'll put the powder on, which although it turns to mush when you put it on your face, so it's quite clever, this powder, because you put it on, it slightly turns to cream. I'll then put on my SPF like that, and I'll sort of rub it all together, and that's what I'll put on. So I'm sort of adding some vitamin C in its purest form. I don't want to buy some pre-made vitamin C in an SPF, because I don't believe that sold together, I've seen it work. Have I seen it work anywhere? Maybe La Roche-Posay in some form. So that's my extra protection, because I don't want to get back pigment,
Trinny,
yes.
George is asking, would you put SPF over a moisturizer?
Yes, it's the last thing you put on, ladies. It really is the last thing you put on, because, you know, I do serum, moisturizer if I need it, and I will then do, for me, I actually do an SPF that has enough moisture in it. In the sun, I find that my skin has more plumpness. Usually if I'm in a hot country, there's a bit of humidity. So if I was in a dry climate, I'd probably use moisturizer. Otherwise, I'd do my serum and I'll do the SPF with the vitamin C. But if I'm in London, I won't. If I'm in London, I'll do my whole routine and then I'll put something on top. So if I'm in London, what do I use? Let me just clean my face again, because this one has now got the vitamin C set to it. It's so frustrating when I can't see any of your comments, ladies, but I can't, so something's happened to my phone.
Caroline is asking, is SPF 15 high enough for day-to-day wear, or should we be wearing SPF 30 plus?
SPF 15 is a gentle stroll in the park. If you want to be jogging towards a sun satisfaction protection moment, I would do a 30 minimum. Now, there's an interesting thing in cosmetics, because when you read, I'll show you this is something, I don't know how many of you know this, and I've only just learnt it yesterday from my lab, but if you have UVA and UVB, and they give an SPF 30, that's a broad spectrum SPF. It means it protects you from every ray. But if you have somebody who's got a product and they've allowed it, you know, they got a passing that it's a UVA SPF 30, but only 20 UVB, they have to call it a SPF 20. So which is better to get, a broad spectrum 20 or a high 30? They're the same. But I think a minimum of 20. I'd say when I'm going around in London, I sometimes use, let me just see if I've got my SPF. Yeah, I've got this one from La Roche-Posay. Can I just give you the prices? So Avène was how much?
12.
12. Good price, lasts a long time. Only keep it for a year. And if you use it in the sun on holiday and you keep it out by your chaise longue in the sun all the time, don't keep it for the following year because all of the benefits, all of the UV protection will have gone. And I know that means you're spending more money, but really you want to protect your skin. So, and the next one I did, let me just be really organised, the SkinCeuticals. How much was that?
That's £40.
40. That's an expensive product. You don't need much, but it is from a dermatological brand and they are really protecting your skin and they've got mineral bases and the ingredients are incredibly good. And broad spectrum is a great word in SPF protection. It's a word you want to go for.
Sarah's asking, if you wear a foundation with an SPF in it, would that be enough?
It depends because there are a few foundations. Well, there's a few tinted moisturizers. So here, okay, I'm going to give you a little interesting point here. This is not extra light. I'm not going to do that. This is my Bobbi Brown favorite moisturizing tinted balm, which I love, and it is an SPF 25. Okay, but look at this. So when I put it on, I probably just put a little bit on because I just want to get a nice, easy coverage. I'm not actually thinking too much about the SPF. So I might think, oh, that's enough for me to wear of that product. How much SPF have I actually put on my face? Not that much. Whereas if I've got Pigment Clear La Roche-Posay SPF 30, and Pigment Clear is very good for people who have hyperpigmentation, and it will help to protect and will it help to reduce your pigmentation? What it would do is make sure you don't get any more, and I think it has some active ingredients that stop you producing pigmentation. So it's also got in it things that even out the skin tone. So when people say pigment relief cream or for hyperpigmentation, sometimes they're not going to take you back in time, but they're going to stop you getting more. Anyway, this one, SPF 30, look how we put on a sunscreen. We use more. So if you use a foundation, what was her name again? Sorry. But darling, if you use a foundation, it has our SPF, which is 30, that's great. As long as you use your foundation like you might use a moisturizer. Otherwise, I'd put one on top. Especially areas where you burn.
Sarah's asking, do you recommend mineral SPFs that have minerals?
You're either a mineral girl or you're not a mineral girl. I have used mineral SPFs and I don't use any mineral products in terms of makeup. I don't use those powders like Bare Minerals because even though you can get a technique where you really brush it in lightly and you use less product and you build up a polished skin, I've always found that I've got a lot of powder on my face. So for me, anything which is minerals coming from powders, I don't use that much. Then they're not good. I just don't choose to use them. And if you use a mineral powder, a mineral-based SPF, that could be some other minerals, couldn't it? It could be zinc and stuff, couldn't it, Victoria?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Victoria, love Victoria because I can say, couldn't it, Victoria? And Victoria was a bloody biochemist. I think it's utterly delightful when women come from a different environment to work with us and they bring an interesting expertise. So Victoria's biochemistry is great on ingredients. Fleur, who you met before, the girl who's taller than me, she also brings experience and she wrote a fantastic newsletter on environmental things to do with the sea in her last job. So when we get on to anything to do with the environment, I'm going to be asking Fleur. Okay, now I'm going to go next to a new discovery which I do love, and this is one I think I did a couple of weeks ago, but I'm just going to mention it and put it in there. HelioCare 360 Air Gel. This is how much, darling?
This is £22.
£20. Really? You sure?
Yeah. £26.
26 or 22?
26.
Okay, £26. Now this is a mousse. I'm surprised it's that price. I thought it was going to be more. I don't know why. But this is fantastic. I love. I wore this all last summer every day. And there's no colour in it. Well, there is something there in that. But the texture it leaves on my skin, I just always felt plumped up, but I didn't feel oily. I don't know, Victoria, does this say it's good for oily skin?
It does.
It does, you see. It's interesting because I don't feel it's a kind of oily skin product like the Avène Cléance, which I really felt mattified my skin. I still think inside this mousse-like consistency, there's a really great hydration. It's a wonderful, wonderful product, and it did protect me in the sun. I got a tiny, tiny bit of colour. I didn't burn at all. I use it in London. I like the consistency. I like what it's doing. Do you see? It's kind of, I don't know, it's just very clever. I've got to really look at those ingredients in detail. This is also broad spectrum UVA and UVB. So to be SPF 50, UVA, UVB, and good for oily skin, this is like a 10 out of 10 product to me. Okay, La Roche-Posay, Heliocare, Anthelios XL, 50, there. This is also good for oily skin, isn't it? Am I saying that right?
Sensitive and oily.
Sensitive and oily skin. And, you know, La Roche-Posay have their Anthelios. I always think it's some weird Greek name, and I know it's not. Do you know what it means, Victoria? Does it have some chemical meaning?
It's a meaning of the sun, actually. Anthelios.
Anthelios, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so this one rubs in fine, and you know, you think to yourself, an SPF 50 with a broad spectrum, that's going to take a while to rub in. Very quick rubbing in, really good. Now, my newest favourite, now I have to talk like this when I say it because she's got a slight southern accent, is Julia Hunter. And I have this one last week? I did talk about this one last week. I did, ladies. So I'm not going to talk about it in great, great detail, but she did have an old one. So any of you who used to use her old product, which was just a broad spectrum SPF, this one. And now she has this one with the rather emu oil consistency. But, my God, it hydrates, it protects. And it's the kind of thing, when you said, should I wear a moisturizer and an SPF? With this, you don't have to. So with this, I do my serum, my vitamin C, and then this. 2 in 1. Love it. Okay, I'm going to do now, ladies, the competition winners. Can we have a drum roll? Okay, so because our printer broke, because Victoria's got her laptop there, I'm going to actually give me your laptop, and I'm going to read out what they said. Got to get my glasses on because, where are my glasses gone? I had them, and now they've gone. No, I know, but that's the rather unattractive ones. And the vanity in me wants to put on a nice pair of glasses for this, but I don't think that, oh, yes. Let's put them on still with their +2, that's where I'm at, +2 label. Okay. Norma Bacon nominated her friend Tracy Brown. The red check dress would be perfect for my friend Tracy Brown, 28, who's just undergone second reconstruction after having breast cancer. First one rejected and had to wait a year for second reconstruction. She's an inspiration, never lets anyone get her down. She's an avid follower of you, and we both can't get enough of your videos. I know she'd love it. So I just want to say, Tracy, congratulations. And Norma, you are such a good friend to nominate her. How really lovely, really lovely. Okay, see if I can read without my glasses. Then we have Kelsey Craig, and she nominated her mum, Eileen Craig. Hi Trinny, I hope you're well. I'm nominating my mother. She's your #1 fan. You're like the 5th member of your family. Thank you. Love that, that's so nice. She constantly talks about you, and I can always hear your voice from her phone. She even got Instagram just to follow you. That's so sweet. She's a wee bless, looks after the whole family, and only requires a cup of tea. You two would be soul sisters. She's so fashionable. I let her dress me all the time, and she's always right. She would love the tweed top, and if you've picked her, I really think after passing out, her life would be made. So Eileen, enjoy the tweed top, and thank you. That was such a lovely, lovely message from your daughter. And then we've got Anna Cobb, and she's nominated Maxine Cowlin, and she said the black dress needs to be Maxine Cowlin's Trinny tribe. Maxine had a liver transplant, and if anyone deserves it, a treat, it's her. Bloody true. Maxine, enjoy, and thank you so much, ladies, for those nominations. That was just heartfelt and brilliant. So, is there anything else? Have I done 7? Have I done 7? Have you been counting up?
Yeah.
Sort of. There's also another one for dark spots, Dr. Dennis Gross, and I've only tried this for a week, so I'm kind of hesitant to bring it to the table. And I've tried his mask, which is this blue gunk you mix with powder, which I think is absolutely shit, actually, and terrible to get off. but I just do like his dark spot sun cream. So I would recommend it. And it has in it this ingredient called Melac complex, and that is a very good actually scientific ingredient, which is going to help with the sunspots and actually kind of work with them to help them. And it's easy to apply, just to see that go on there. It's very easy to rub in. The smell is nothing. None of these actually have a smell, apart from Heliocare, slight smell. I'm going to end on a little trick that I learned as I put on my knickers this morning, okay? But I haven't had any chance this week to do any exercise because I really have been getting up at 6 every morning because it's just been a full-on week. And this morning, I'm going on this morning with Lila, and we're doing mothers and daughters, typical This Morning Story, wearing the same thing, but wearing it differently. So we're not going to be identically dressed, but we're going to be wearing one thing the same, and it's like, how can we be different decades and do something? So I've chosen, Lila chose it. I just want to show you first, which are these lovely, stretchy, kind of silky trousers from Urban Outfitters, and she'll wear them very cool Adidas jeans, Adidas trainers, and I'm wearing them with my dress from Zara over trousers with a shiny sneaker, which I might change for a high heel. Okay. My new exercise routine is now including a pair of pants. And I'll tell you what I did this morning, because I have these pants which I use when I want to have, they're really good actually, when I don't want a knicker-line show or I'm wearing very white tops. I wear very white bottoms. And as I was putting them on, they were too tight. So I started doing that to loosen them. And then I thought, that's such a great arm exercise. So I was doing that, and I really got carried away. I nearly overstretched my knickers. But it made for two things: a more comfortable knicker and less of a batwing sleeve. Who could want more? Anyway, ladies, have a wonderful day. Have a jolly fabulous Easter. And I will see you next week.